this week we head to none other than Mana Pools. Just killed an impala. Very relaxed. A very special destination in northern Zimbabwe. We spend a lot of time driving the beautiful Zambezi floodplain, but most importantly, we spend a lot of time on foot, tracking elephant, even lion, and especially wild dogs. One of the best places in Africa to spend time on foot with wild dogs and elephant. We explore the Blue Forest. We get fed by Tess and looked after by Dave and Rugs and Kevin, the guide. It's an easy place to get to. We fly into Harare, Zimbabwe, and then a light aircraft into Mana Pools in northern Zimbabwe on the Zimbabwe River. Mana Pools is a very special place. So special, in fact, that we as guides often spend our holidays here. We've done many trips in the past with friends and family, renowned for very relaxed elephant, old, big baobabs, all kinds of life on the river, and especially in the campsites. It's can be quite interesting while you're cooking food and enjoying or training in the 45-degree heat. Whose idea was that? But you can get visited by all kinds of wildlife, elephant especially, very relaxed bulls that will come by camp and see what you're up to.
Mana Pools is one of those really iconic areas where what you can do in Mana Pools is quite unique. Oh, hello Pebbles. Hello Pebbles. Hello Pebbles. Hey, wants to be in the video. Back onto Mana Pools. It's hard to find something that's unique these days. You know, there's a lot of places in Africa you can go on safari. Thousands of places. To find something really special, it requires a lot of elements. It requires the wilderness area itself being well maintained, well managed, well looked after. It requires a dedicated, devoted team on the ground. Between the guide and everyone in the lodge, those who are looking after you, cooking the food, sorting stuff out that might go wrong, which inevitably it does. And if they do that graciously and lovingly, etc., etc., it's harder to find than you think.
Getting into Mana Pools is awesome. Small aircraft, you take off from Harare. This time we had two. Luckily Alice was in the really small one, as it's quite a bumpy ride getting into the valley. You can see the dry, arid landscape, but it is raw and beautiful Africa. As soon as you land, you can just feel the energy. Yes, cicadas, no doubt it is hot, so be prepared for that. Upon arrival, we met by our guide, as usual. Get a few refreshments.
You would like me
so nice
to butter a scone for them? Butter and jam scone for them.
And get your first taste of Tessa's delicious food before heading towards camp, driving through the valley and checking into this beautiful, beautiful piece of paradise. It's a very simple camp already. We're getting visited by elephant and we get to tuck into lunch, which is just to die for. We come to Mana for many reasons, but the light is one of them. The character of this forest, the baboons in the trees calling in the morning, the blues, the oranges, the reds, the old bulls that walk through the forest feeding. This is sort of the essence of Mana Pools. There's there's something really unique about it, and the river itself is filled with life. Everything from hippo, a massive array of birds that are always entertaining. As pools dry up, the storks and fish eagles hammer the catfish. But you can just sit in this forest for hours, even days, just enjoying what's happening around you, the sounds and sights and smells, and just getting lost in the light.
In Mana pools, I mean, Alice and I have often described the team at Mana as the perfect team. You know, if you could take that team anywhere in Africa on safari, you would have the most wonderful time. Between the guiding of Kevin, even booking the safari in the beginning, the process is flawless. Kevin taking you out. Pebbles, I'm coming, man. I'm coming. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Pebbles, not my cat. I mean, I do think all cats are mine sometimes. Don't knock that over. Anyway, Kevin, brilliant, absolutely brilliant guide, one of the best. Just makes it fun out there, you know, fun and safe. And obviously, you know, we learn a lot while we're there. But even from when you land in Mana pools, you're greeted by Tess and Dave, and just organic, and Rugs, don't forget about Rugs, who manages the spot. The authentic joy they have to show you an African wilderness, that makes it something just, I'm going there now in my head, and it's a good place to go. Even better when you're there in person. So that is what Mana pools is, you know. This experience in particular with these people, and the food, and the food. I mean, I've yet to see food of that quality on safari, not even in the fancy 5 stars that we often stay at lodges. Tessa's cooking is extraordinary, and there's few places I would rather be than sitting by the fire after a long walk. Mana pools, we walk a lot, I'll get into that later, and sitting and having a cold beverage on the banks of the Zambezi, chewing the cud with the squad and Dave and Brooks.
So this is what the authentic Mana pools camping experience is all about. The best way to do safaris. Those are the tents underneath these beautiful gagilias, I believe they are. Everyone's sitting underneath that little tree there and enjoying the sight of big bull elephant out there. Magic. That's what it's all about. All day there's stuff coming and going through here. Lions at night, hyenas. This is what it's all about. Baboons, kitchen is there. Best food you've ever tasted in your life. Really is what it's all about. You must understand that a walking safari is not just a stroll. There's an art to making a walking safari all that it should be. And not a lot of operations and not a lot of guides in Africa actually know how to do this. The people we work with in Zimbabwe and Mana pools are some of the best in Africa. Incredibly well trained, passionate, and just really fun to be around. And they know this area well, which is important because we want to know which elephants we can approach, especially if we can find Boswell. He's an iconic elephant. He often will break branches and feed youngsters and stand on his back legs and put on a really spectacular show.
We're in the Vedobia forest, blue forest or anna tree forest. You see everyone here is taking a little bit of a break. All these archways for photographers, absolutely stunning. Elephants walking through. If you're lucky, lion like we had last time, eland, impala. We're just taking a break now and just enjoying. But all around us is this beautiful ancient forest that is just an absolutely spectacular thing to walk through, full of bird life and easily some of the most beautiful light you'll ever see in your life. Blue haze in the canopy and a beautiful red sun peeking through. Absolutely magical. That's what it's all about. But the wilderness experience itself, let's get to that. I mean, Mana Pools you can drive and have some wonderful sightings on foot, but its essence is in the walking safari. You know, you can approach a lot of game. I mean, you can do walks all over Africa, and sadly, a lot of the time they're slapped together. You know, the lodge doesn't put a lot of heart into a walking experience, and they lose out on a lot because it can really be the linchpin to many experiences. Mana Pools, you mainly walk. And there's, pebbles! You mainly walk, and you can get much closer to many species that otherwise you can't get that close to, which doesn't define how good or bad a walking experience is, but it is it's a pack of pebbles climbing the tree. It is nice to be close on foot. It feels good, with a good guide, it feels like you connect more with that animal in a not in a airy-fairy way, but like just, you know, when you can see the details in its skin, you can hear its breathing, like especially with the elephant, they can get that close. You can hear their footprints as they come past you and you're sitting there in the dust. You know, that is really, really, really special when you're 50 yards away from a big male lion and you're sitting in the dust with your comrades, and he's just every now and again watches you and then does his thing and then walks off. I mean, it's a primal experience. It's really special. It's not about pushing or interacting with the wildlife, but just being close enough to be in each other's energy fields, if you want to, for lack of a better description, but sometimes it really feels that way.
Sadly, this particular elephant has been fed by campers, willingly or unwillingly, probably a little bit of both. And now that if he gets into camp, especially while we've got lunch out, you can't get him out of camp. We had already stopped him on the edge of camp once, and now he was trying to use the river to get into camp. Unfortunately, that means we have to sort of push him back, which can be quite an intense thing to do. It's a very big animal, and we had to shoo him off, but he was very obliging and gave up and went back upstream to look for an easier meal somewhere else. Please do not feed wildlife. This is what happens. This is the very best of Mana Pools. Having lunch, getting fed in the best way possible, literally no better food. And guess who's down there? JD, famous bull elephant, also having lunch. I mean, how do you get better than that? Well, you just don't.
And Mana Pools is probably the place where you can do this most consistently. You know, there's many other places where the odd individuals quite relaxed with people on foot, but Mana Pools, I mean, the one encounter we had with wild dogs is forever etched in my mind. You know, early morning start, we found the dogs on the hunt. We were in the vehicle first and trying to keep up with them, and they eventually ran into this big open plain, and we managed to get right up close to them, and they had taken down, I think she was a waterbuck or kudu, something along those lines. And a hyena showed up, massive interaction between the wild dogs and the hyena, which lasted, you know, we were on the ground there lying in the dirt for 2 hours. It was extraordinary, one of the best wild dog sightings I've ever had, and a large part of that is due to the fact that we were on the ground. No vehicle, and there was just a few of us, wasn't many people. Just our team, in fact, and I think 2 others.
foot, if we play our cards right, and you get this sort of experience. Sun is rising. Absolute magic. Look at that. Guides here standing back. I'm gonna go join them. So this is one of the most amazing things about water pools. Getting this set up for coffee here. It's still early in the morning, that's why my eyes are all half closed. Down here, Zambezi River. There's actually an elephant drinking down there. And that's what's so raw and wild about this experience. Rivers full of hippo calling all night, hyenas calling all night. Seldom a moment where something isn't making some sort of noise and giving you something to think about. You're just so comfortable and safe in this beautiful camp. This is what it's all about. And I mean, that's about as good as a wild dog sighting gets. We had another one some years ago. Same thing with Jill, and we found wild dogs on the run, and we saw them in the distance chasing eland, very big antelope, usually a little bit out of reach for a wild dog. Anyway, we looped around and then ran through the, when I say ran, very open country, so we just walked fast. We got into an area and realized the dogs had surrounded a big eland, but she had a very newborn calf. And we watched this fight between them from probably about 7 in the morning till 6 in the evening that night. All day they went at it. Eventually they did get that calf. Calf died of probably hunger, thirst, but one of the most extraordinary sightings of my life. And I've got many like that from Mana pools, not in a way to brag, but it happens there. You know, it's a lovely, lovely place. We've had extraordinary lion encounters, them coming right through camp, roaring outside your tent. Alice was like on the other side of the mesh of this lion. Oh, hello, guess who's back? Hello, hello, say hello, say hello, say hello, say hello, Bebbles. Again. Sweet kitty. And then obviously the elephants standing on their back legs. I mean, that's extraordinary in itself. I mean, you've got to see this. Your heart stops when you're on foot, and one of these animals just rear back, balance on its back legs like a circus act, feeds on the trees, tries to break a branch and comes back down. And we've had this happen, 20 yards from us, sometimes even less. And animals very relaxed. If you're with a good guide, like I say, that's always important, and doesn't even take note of you. You can witness these extraordinary encounters all on foot, all up close. And yeah, that it makes Mana pools iconic. It makes it special. It makes it something you'll never ever forget, and something that's so different and is definitely worth being on your travel list of Africa for sure.